Okay, I'm sitting here with past Grand Master Allen of the Universal Grand Lodge of the United States of America. And past Grand Master, you've been affiliated with Universal Grand Lodge for how long? How many years?
63 years.
63 years. That's a couple of generations, isn't it?
Hey, I'm here to tell you.
How has that travel been for you?
Beautiful, beautiful. I have no qualms about being and belonging. Now, when I first joined, I joined because I was nosy. I wanted to know what my dad and nosy were doing in the organization. I had no idea that the organization was the kind of organization it really was, because when my dad and those used to meet by the church, there were no windows in that building that they had, and I always wanted to know what they were doing in a dark building. So he told me when I turned 21 to join, and then I'll find out. So when I turned 21 in 1956, and I was military at that point. I was in the Air Force. I came home, got initiated, and went back. And since then, I had my dad and some of the old timers that said that you think you're pretty smart, young man, so we're going to push you. So they were the one that caused me to really study and get involved.
Mm-hmm.
But during my time in this organization, it's been very beneficial to my family and I, because when I got married, I didn't have to rent those limousines, didn't have to buy no furniture. You know, it was given to us by my Masonic Lodge in the Grand Lodge of Michigan.
Now, you don't think that would be done today, do you?
I'm not for sure. I don't think
Okay.
so, but that's what happened to us. And a little brief bit on me personally and the wife. Through the Masonic Order, I've been able to travel to the 7 continents that we have, and been able to communicate with the different brothers throughout the world, if you will, and also able to set up some alliances. We set up the East Coast Alliance with the brothers on the East Coast in the Masonic Order. We set up the Michigan Association of Grand Lodges,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to involve the white Masons in Michigan in what we call Family Masons Day at the Charles Wright Museum in the city of Detroit, which is the Black Museum in the city of Detroit. And that was to give scholarships to the young kids so they could come to the museum whenever they wanted to come.
So now you really have experienced the universal brotherhood of the Freemasonry.
Yes, I have, and like I said, I'm proud of it, and I'm still working with the young people and old people that are not quite familiar with some of the history of the organization. And the Universal Grand Lodge, when I came in, like most organizations, everybody wanted to be on their own corner. We didn't even speak to each other. If you belonged to a Grand Lodge over here, you didn't talk to another brother in a Grand Lodge across the street. Brother Allen felt when he became Grand Master that was the craziest thing that he'd ever heard of.
Now, what year was that, past Grand?
I was elected Grand Master in 1959.
Okay.
And I said, we have our people that work together, go to school together, go to church together, and all of these kinds of things, but when it came to the Masonic Order, we couldn't talk to each other, we couldn't come together. So my dictate at that point was to get all Masons together at one time.
Excellent.
So one of the accomplishments, I think my major accomplishment was around 1994, when we had our first major parade downtown Detroit. And we had 2,000 brothers marching at that time. So with that Michigan Association, we were able to, like I said, set up the Illinois, Missouri, and Indiana group. And since then, all of us have been able to talk to each other about ritual, about anything in the Masonic order. The problem that I had and we're still trying to solve is when somebody come along and says, how many letters are you?
Okay.
Yeah, and there are actually only 3 letters in Masonry. They belong to everybody.
All right.
Okay? And that's the ancient York Mason.
Okay.
Because we practice English Masonry. We don't practice African Masonry. England took it from Africa, and that is why we practice it. That's why we have all of the chains and the cutaway coats and the breastplates and everything like that. And like I tell my brothers, if you want to see Masonry, look at England when they bring out the Queen or they have a celebration, and you'll see collars, sashes, cap, the whole ball of wax.
Okay.
You know, so we're practicing the English Masonry, and the other thing about the English Masonry is that the Grand Master of England have never been initiated. He's the Grand Master by virtue of royal blood.
All right.
The Grand Senior Warden of England controlled the Masonic Order. I was able to meet the Grand Lodge, the Senior Warden of England.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Jack Tattersall.
Okay.
At that time, he was 84 years old. He is so past now. He's from Skipton, England, and I was invited to visit with him, and we talked about the Masonic Order. The basic foundation of this organization is the first 3 degrees. First 3 degrees. And we talk about the 33rd, and we talk about the 32nd. But I beg to differ with you when you start traveling overseas.
Okay.
Do not mention the 32nd, 33rd, because they don't practice that over there. Okay? All they want to know is you're a Master Mason. They still work in England with the preface of 7 years being into apprentice.
Okay.
Okay? 7 years. Because they have a number of people. They have that whole British Empire that they're working from. So they initiate 7 in apprentices. Each Grand Lodge
Okay.
initiate 7 in apprentices a year.
Wow.
That's all.
Wow.
Okay? And from that time, they spend 7 years before they advance to the
Now,
next degree.
now I'm sure you are aware of the fact, some cases here in America, a man can join today. Here it is, August.
And be a 32nd tomorrow.
Yeah.
I warn you, and I'm going to say this to you when we talk about the 32nd, and most people don't pay it any attention as they go up in the degree because they don't read. When you get to the 32nd degree, the motto is what? I'm a sublime prince. I have the royal secrets. What royal secrets do you have? The royal secrets of a Master Mason. So you're Master Mason twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So don't get carried away. You're talking about I got some high degrees. Another misnomer in this Masonic order is the 33rd last degree of Masonry. That's the most unused, unfortunate thing that the folks are told. There are 2 streets that you take off of that compass. You go York Rite or you go Scottish Rite. 33rd is the highest degree in Scottish Rite. The highest degree in York Rite is the Knights Templar. And from the Knights Templar is created a York Rite College. And most people don't know what a York Rite College is. You see it on people's car. It's that little badge with all the tools on it, and it's blue, white, and red. That's the York Rite College. So we need to just understand what we're in, and it's like a car salesman. If you don't know what the car is about, you can't sell it.
I got you.
So
Okay.
I have no problem talking about the Masonic Order to anybody in the world, be it black, white, green, or red.
Okay. Let's shock the viewers with a little bit. How old are you?
I'm 84.
Okay. 84, been in the Masonic Order for
63 years.
63 years. Here's a young man looking to do something worthwhile with his life. What would you tell him?
I would tell him the first thing is get an education, okay? Become active in your community, okay? Treat people the way you want to be treated. Now, in some cases, people treat themselves bad. I don't want to.
Okay.
Not that part. I want you to treat yourself good. I want you to treat your fellow man good. I want you to be able to associate and appreciate all human beings, because contrary to popular opinion, there's only one race of people, and that's the human race. They just come in different sizes, colors, and what have you. But we're all human beings, and we all deserve to be treated as a human being. And that's what I would tell the young people. As a matter of fact, I ran a program for 30 years for the city of Detroit, the Summer Youth Employment Program for high school kids and that kind of thing. And I've always dealt with young people. Hey,
So, okay, final words on Universal Grand Lodge?
Universal Grand Lodge is one of the best organizations that you can join. Now, at one time, we had the largest organization in the States. But as the older people died off, because they wasn't too favorable about bringing young people in. And if you don't bring young people in, you will die, okay? So we've gone to a lower area, but we begin to build again. And I would say that the Universal Grand Lodge has a structure, a Masonic structure. We're not just a group of people that raise money and go places. We have a basic foundation that will compete with anybody in this country, white, green, red, or black, and also England, because we've been talked to in England about how we operate.
Excellent, excellent. I want to thank you, sir, for your time and information.
You're welcome,
May God bless you.
and thank you.